are opening the Parks Committee meeting.
Sure, you
5 o'clock.
make sure you put all your mics on.
Okay, we're opening the Parks Committee meeting at 5 o'clock on September 6th. Can we have a roll call, please?
Tracy? Yeah. Kelly?
Here.
Brad?
Here.
Danette?
Here.
Marlene?
Here.
Paula?
Here.
And Colleen?
Here.
Okay,
Both Paul and Ed said they were not going to be able to attend.
we could stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Citizens' comments. You're part of the program, so there's anybody on Zoom for comments?
Nope.
No one in the audience? Okay. Approval of the meeting minutes from August 9th. Does anybody have any comments or revisions on the minutes? Nope. Somebody want to make a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Correspondence. Marlene, any correspondence from you? Nope. Anybody else? Any correspondence? Nope. All right, we're moving along here today. Reports, Park Supervisor, Mike.
Last month, we laid down the cardboard that the park committee members brought to the meeting, covered it with mulch. It's still a little short. So I find it about half of what you guys gave me last time. I have a couple stuff I've been seeing at the park. The basketball court has been painted. The monument has been installed, the basketball court, the restoration has been completed. He's working on watering right now, trying to get a little help from Mother Nature today. We replaced the pond pump at the John Gray Memorial due to failure. The plants have been installed. The mulching done there. Working on watering the plants and the grass at the basketball court. The new sign on Lake 5 and Oakwood Road has been installed. I think it'll be turned out really good. Summer helpers are done for the season. We still continue working on mowing as needed, strengthening point needs. We're also winding down shelter records. We only have 3 left. Get to today, so that was growing, and then we started the fall soccer season.
Could I just add a comment? I went up to the park and dug out those daffodils that were coming out from underneath the north end of the bushes. And so I've got them drying, and then we can put them back in probably October, November. So that's done. Thank you.
Thanks, Marlene. Yeah, definitely. Adopt a road, Brad.
I have nothing new unless Mike has heard anything. No, then I have nothing new to report.
Okay. All right, moving along, unfinished business, discussion and necessary action outlining an August, September Lisbon Oaks basketball court opening celebration. So you want to
Sure.
let us know what you got planned? That'd be
All
great.
right.
Thank you.
Well, we've had a lot of progress since then, and thank goodness it's done. It looks great, I think. I don't know if any of you had a chance to go through or go by there yet.
Mhm.
But I'm a little biased, but I think it turned out as very, very nice. And I think it's gonna be a great addition to the park, the community, and I think it's gonna get, hopefully a lot of use. So we have been, kind of searching around for how do we make this happen, because we had kind of been moving this back a little bit just to refresh everybody's mind from before Memorial or Labor Day until now, or what's coming up this weekend. So we are kind of, some of the things that we have planned, of course, is I guess the official time from 1 to 3:30. And I fully expect that people will be there before that and after that, but that'll be, at least we narrowed that window a little bit to keep it to just that. We have some music, and I think you're gonna bring, Mike, some and, you know, speakers and if you don't, I mean, if you have that and it works good, great, I'm not familiar with that. Or you know, we have, a friend who has, you know, some speakers up on a stand and basically a microphone, but
What would you have?
okay. I mean, we can certainly bring yours over and set that up on Saturday morning, right?
Yep.
And then, you had a podium maybe or something like that that we could,
Yeah, I get it sealed.
okay. We don't want to put anything at risk. Right now, I think it looks like it's supposed to be a beautiful day, 70s and sunny and a little less humid and all that, so. Not trying to jinx us here, but hopefully that all pans out. And then, I think that your system, your audio system has the ability for us to play some music through it.
Yeah, last year what I did, I had my phone plugged in at like through Sirius XM.
Yeah,
And I actually played an XM statement. I don't know if you're okay with that, or if you got something else.
I have a friend who's offered to put together a little playlist of basketball fun music. And so,
Yeah.
you know, very family friendly kind of stuff, and it might go in a loop, you know, but you know, if we get sick of it, we can always put something else on.
As long as it's 3.5 millimeter, you know, auxiliary jack.
Okay,
That's what we need to hook it up to the system. Like I know like my iPhone has like a lightning adapter.
oh yeah, he has an iPhone too.
Okay, so as long as it's a 3.5 millimeter auxiliary jack, that's what I have. plugged in.
You write that down? Thanks. So that, you know, that's kind of setting, I guess, the stage for it. We put out some signage, last weekend that we had made up, including a banner in front of the park. We also had a banner made that we plan to hang on the fence by the memorial. That is the, original artwork that Emily drew. That resulted in the girl shooting the basketball on the memorial, and then it will hurt saying that she has on the one side. And so people can kind of get an idea of where that came from. And so we had that blown up a little bit. We'll have it probably just bungee cord it to the fence right by the memorial there. Then, you know, we reached out to a bunch of food trucks, and I think you all did too, and you know, and I think there was at best limited interest, and so we kind of said, well, we didn't want to leave that totally vacant, but we didn't think that it was probably all about the food either, so what we have done is we've arranged to have one of those popcorn carts that has the, you know, the thing that spins around, you dump the popcorn out and all that. So we'll be making up some popcorn. We got popcorn, a couple 100 popcorn bags, and hopefully there's people that like some popcorn. It was kind of Emily's and my thing because we were traveling a lot for tournaments and such, and always sitting there eating popcorn. That was one thing they always had at the games. And if you've ever had kids and been on that circuit, you know that it's fun for a couple of weekends, and then pretty soon you're like, really, more popcorn? But anyway, so we're gonna have some popcorn. We also are having a popsicle vendor, I guess you'd say. It's one of these things that it's like a cooler on the front of a bicycle type thing. They put an umbrella up on it, and they are gonna bring popsicles. And then Sue is having a bunch of cookies made, some with sunflowers and some with basketballs, makes sense. And so we'll have those out. Hopefully we can put up, Mike, I think you mentioned you have a few easy ups. And we have one too, and we can maybe put those up as kind of a place to distribute those things. We were also looking at maybe bringing at least several cases of bottled water to give out. I didn't know if you had something that we could, you know, like we have a few coolers, but you throw a thing of water in there and it seems like it's full, so.
I have two fairly large ones.
Yeah, if you could bring those, we can probably fill those up and give out some water to people that might want it.
Do you want them Friday or maybe soon, like maybe Friday or something?
Yeah, so I'll be off on Friday and be around,
I'll get one.
putzing around with that. setting up what we can, understanding that, what do we want to leave in the park overnight? Not that it's like things are disappearing, but, be my luck that somehow that would happen. And then we also, so then that's kind of does that answer or kind of give you a view of what that part is looking like? Then the next thing is, in terms of guests, we're gonna have Father Nick, and he has an event right before this, so he'll be there just about like right on time. But, so he'll be there to, do a blessing and such of the court. And he's, like I mentioned before, he's kind of a friend of the family now. And we also have the Arrowhead girls basketball team coming. So they'll be doing fun things on the court, I think, to get started. And then I asked if they could, organize a few events with kids and even adults, I guess. Maybe like a 3-point shooting contest and maybe a free throw contest. And I bought a bunch of purple basketballs to kind of give out as prizes for the winners of those types of things. And then so they'll be there to participate as much as we want, I hope. And then I didn't know if there was anybody here that wanted to speak. So kind of the schedule of events, as I was thinking, we'd start out with, and this is all just, we're kind of spitballing here, but I was thinking we could start out with the village speakers, if there are any. And you could kind of say welcome or hi and all that, and then say, if there's a couple of you, I don't know who wants to speak.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it on behalf of the board.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then, so if you're that one, then I think Sam and Sue and I will probably get up and say a few things after you.
Sure.
And then I thought we kind of build that up to Father Nick, doing the blessing and then the ribbon cutting, and then have fun.
Okay, so do you want me to just lead it off then, just kind of get it
So you-
moving?
if you're good with that, I think it would be a nice start to the event.
Sure, I'm happy to
And-
do that for you, yeah.
And then, Sue and I, like I said, Sue and I and Sam will get up with some comments. And then, is there anybody else that would like to speak? I mean, it's a great opportunity if anybody would like to. Or anybody from I know this is, and I'm learning this better as I go, but Parks Committee, but does anybody off of the village board or anybody you want?
I'm also on the board.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So and Joe Osterman might be able to make it.
okay.
He's got some family obligations. He's gonna see if he can. He's kind of
Everybody
iffy right
does.
now. So you have full covered with me for now anyway.
No, that's perfect.
Okay,
So then, yeah, and then we'll just have the arrow, I think we'll start out with the girls on the court and doing some drills or whatever they do, and then welcome everybody else on and do a few contests and that, and that should probably move us into our time frame pretty well, I would think. If anybody has any suggestions or feedback, I'm totally open to that.
sounds very good. Yeah.
And we have another day or so if you think of something, we can, try and work it in. But I hope it's a nice balance. It's one of those things that you don't know if there's gonna be 20 people or 50 or 500,
Right.
but, it will be what it is. And, at least it'll be up and running now and everybody can get going. Thank you, Mike, for all the watering you're doing on that. It's kind of the double-edged sword where you're trying to make grass grow and you got perfect heat and sun, but you don't have any water. And so, it's been great of you to be trying to tend to that and the best we can. Sometimes when you spread, I do that on my grass a little bit, it just goes, it's like you didn't do anything. So, Sue, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
So did you, just a quick question, did you want to start right at 1 then, or wait till about 1:30, or just kind of wait and see what the
I think-
crowd's looking like?
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea, is to
Okay.
just see how it's feeling, if people are getting anxious. then maybe we try to get going, you know, towards 1 o'clock, but if it seems like people are just showing up, then we'll just wait a little bit.
Okay,
And I think, you know, we don't have anything planned before or after. And, you know, if you're all hanging out there, we'll probably, I know we have a lot of family coming and we're not just gonna say, see you later, we'll probably all walk over to the house, and so you're all welcome if you'd like to as well, we're walking distance from there. So.
I think me, we're gonna say about 5 or 6. He probably won't get there unless before like 1:15.
okay,
So.
So
that's
maybe-
fine. Yeah.
Okay.
But he's kind of. Down, you know,
What?
he's like 3rd on the list, so.
Should we shoot for like a 1:30 start time for the, speaking portion of it, you know, cause yeah, people have already show up.
yeah, I mean, whatever,
That's
whatever,
fine, and we'll have the music
Play it
going
by
before and
yeah,
after that.
I think we
and
played by
so-
ear.
Yeah,
That by year, 'cause
If that's
people
good with
say
you guys,
they start leaving,
Yeah,
Get going.
cause you don't really want people like. Sit and wait either, and they're kind of like.
From what we've seen, you know, quite a few kids are down there dribbling around doing stuff like. And I, you know, it's been kind of neat since the memorial got installed. It was. You know, before we had snow fence up and people were trying to climb over it and under it and everything else, and now there's just this tape and it's. Everybody's been like, yeah, we'll just let the grass grow, and so.
And then the book's gonna be installed on.
Right.
our website.
You
For what? The hoops, oh, yeah,
yeah,
it's kind of important.
Important.
Otherwise, we could all say we made it, right? I think that one wouldn't it? Yeah, so. And I'll be around all day on Friday, Mike. I think you are too, yeah. So, and Saturday, of course, yeah, but, so thank you all for. Everything you've done, I hope you're proud of it,
Mhm.
I think it's gonna be great, it looks neat, so, if there's anything else, you all have my contact information. Think there'll be a little bit to eat, some popsicles, it's the whole thing too, I mean, we don't know. How many popsicles do we tell them that we have, you know, how much popcorn do we have? Oh, I know one other thing, Mike, you have a little generator that runs the PA. I was able to secure one that'll run the popcorn machine and probably anything else that we need. Hopefully it's not too loud, or if we have to, we'll turn it on and off, you know, when we gotta run the machine or whatever. So, but we'll try and run it off too, and if you got some heavy duty cords you can bring.
Yeah.
That'll, cause I know those things, if this thing, I guess it draws like 13 amps, so it's gonna be pretty industrial, hopefully it makes good popcorn. And so, anything else? I'm not trying to leave, but I don't wanna be like
No.
that guy that doesn't know when to sit down.
I just have one thing, if those of us that are gonna be there, have your cell phone ready, maybe we can be taking pictures or do a little video or something and get those to you afterward, because you'll be so involved with everything, so. I mean, I will plan to do that, but others, you know, please, if you're coming, why don't we try and grab some really good shots? and,
Yeah,
you know,
We'd like to put that
snippets.
on the website as well.
yeah,
Right.
so, yeah, and if you don't have my number, Mike has it, and,
Sure.
or just, you know, text me and I can send it to, and Sue's and Sam's for that matter. Sam started at Madison today, so, yeah, so she's, yeah, so she's, yeah, so she'll be back on Friday, to help out, and participate.
That's great.
Fantastic. Well, we're looking forward
you.
to it. Yeah, thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
One thing to be aware, there is a soccer game at the park on Saturday. I reached out to them to see what time their games are. You know, they have a game this day or whatever,
All right,
so I haven't heard back from them to see what time it's at, but.
yeah, well, that'll make it seem more festive. Right? And that's the beauty of that, when you stand there in that park now and you look at the basketball.
Do they
court,
park
you
over?
got
They usually
the
park
soccer
on the
field,
street, like on the other
baseball
side near
field,
the soccer field, don't they?
And
Yeah,
I gave
volleyball
them
court
the
now,
option,
right
because they're still not done, seal coating the parking lot yet.
Mhm.
So there's games tomorrow night, Friday night, and Saturday. So I told them that street parking, the parking lot maybe closed, then when it's closed like tonight. Got like quarter of it done.
They got half of it done. Yeah. So it was half sealed in the driveway a little bit.
I haven't walked up there lately. I live in that neighborhood too. I'm on Thousand Oaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
wow. Be doing a little one-on-one.
Maybe. I'll wear sneakers.
All right.
All right, great. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, and, we'll get an update on the invasive species grant. Any,
Did you apply for that this year?
No.
Or were you planning on doing that?
I wasn't sure if it was even open, but I haven't had time to.
Okay, do you want me to look into it?
Sure, if you can find out if it's open or not, I'm sure Kathy would know if it's,
Yeah,
if they
okay,
opened it. I believe that it opened very late in the year last year. Because it was right before I was leaving application, so
and you're gonna be gone now again for a week,
a couple of weeks.
a couple of weeks, 2
so
weeks?
who would write that if it is open?
Yeah.
I don't know who would write it. Right now, we're doing budget right now, so there's no
Okay.
chance that I
Okay.
have to do anything and then we have tax bills out, and that takes me all the way until Thanksgiving, so.
Okay, because
budget
you
and-
said last year that you had to do it. And
I
that
have to
you,
get in, that's true.
yeah,
I mean, that
you have to
somebody
do
from
it.
here has to get in,
Okay,
but I
so,
can't do it until after November. If that was even, after Thanksgiving, because I have, I'm already booked up with work.
okay, let me check into it, find out when it's open.
Okay.
Because we can't do anything or write anything unless you're involved in it.
Right, yeah, the grant program for the federal government is pretty complex.
Yeah,
So it's not like I could just go in and fill something out.
no,
quick.
no,
It's gonna take me some hours to figure it out.
okay, okay, I'll check into that.
Okay. All right, moving on to new business, discussion of the events calendar for 24.
All right, so I gave you an events from last. From 2018 to 23. Wanted to get some dates on the calendar for the actual events. For the now Winterfest and this. Are we planning on doing the sled race or Winterfest? We keep going back around and around with that.
I think the last thing we had discussed was just not making a hard date for it right now and seeing what the weather looked like and try to do it in conjunction with the sled race, Brad.
Right.
Yeah,
A couple changes on here. The 2021 sled race was actually 2 weeks past the 6th, because I think the 6th we canceled because of the cold weather. So we rescheduled the sled races for like 2 weeks after that. I believe it was on the 20th. I'm trying to find my paperwork to
Okay.
make sure I got that date right. And then in 2022, it was canceled, as was the Winterfest because of ice on the hill. So the only time we ran the sled race was 2021, and I believe it was on February 20th.
Okay. All right, got it down.
So they would both be on the same day again.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct, that's what,
And
yes,
we're gonna shoot sometime in February.
that's my assumption.
do you have a date picked out?
No, what I understand, we were just kind of waiting it out to see how the weather is next year
Right,
and then kind of plan a date from there. The only thing that would change the sled race would be if the scout group that I deal with have something planned for that day, or it's that weekend that the kids have off of school, then no one's around. So
Can you check on those dates so we can eliminate them?
sure,
And
Yeah.
then
I can
maybe just
reach
give
out to
us-
them
we
and
got this
see if they
date,
have a
this
calendar of events scheduled for February, and then find out that date of the school being out
Okay.
that weekend as well, and then kind of try to eliminate those. But I don't want to eliminate, I mean, if Winterfest works out on a date that we can't do the sled race, then I think it's more important to have the Winterfest event than to try to do both.
Yeah, check on the
Yeah.
dates and then next month we can.
yeah, we
Okay.
can start there for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we're just put question marks near Winterfest and sled race. So the Easter extravaganza,
Easter extravaganza is gonna be on March 23rd, 2024.
March 23rd. Okay, and same thing, 12:30 to 2?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, if it's okay with everybody, I will continue to work on setting everything up for that. And then asking for help from all the board members.
Yeah.
And cause that's mainly, most of it is just computer work and phone calls, which I have no problem doing. And like we did last year, we just assigned people to different jobs. And it worked out beautiful. And the only thing is, I would like to get some kind of a flyer made up for the Easter egg hunt at least by December 1st. So if you could do that, Kathy, with the dates that I can send out to the people that I'm working with and saying, hey, this is the day, put it on your calendar. Here's a piece of paper that says that. And then, are you gonna come or not? And then I can always resend that again to people like in January.
okay.
Okay,
It would go out for tax bills like it usually.
no, I email it out to the people. Yeah,
Okay,
Okay,
dokie.
so then we have the community festival.
So that's June. So it's always been around the 17th, 18th, and 19th. So if we're looking at a Saturday, we could do the 15th, be in that same date range.
That's always like Father's Day weekend.
yeah.
Saturday and Father's Day weekend.
Does that work? out
Father's Day
well?
weekend is the 16th.
Does that work out well? Or are we?
That's
are-
the weekend we always had it on.
I know, but are we bumping up against a lot of
Every weekend in June.
Chicken festival.
That's huge, yeah, so it takes a lot of people,
So do we know when anybody have any idea when the date is of that?
the same day.
The same day? So do we want to move it to the weekend before or after?
We don't know when graduation is. but we're at that. It's also
Graduation.
Hamilton.
Arrowhead graduation is usually earlier, like at the beginning of the month. Look it up here.
Pretty good attendance going in on that Saturday. It's usually
Yeah.
third, fourth, fifth, but graduation is on a Friday, or was it a Saturday? Commencement looks like it's June 1st.
June 1st
June 1st.
for Arrowhead.
I think something that we have to work on is a big draw. I am going to be declining to run the summer festival. I will help do it, but I think, and I did send, everybody, I sent you the information, didn't I?
Yes.
All the contacts?
Yes.
Oh, when you get off there, I got another one for you.
You need to remember to place me on, remember you're not supposed to send things out to everyone.
I didn't, I sent it to Paula.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
if you CC'd me as well, that would be great, so I could get
I
it.
don't remember if I did or not. No, that was. That was all the contacts for everybody. And I did do up a 3-page thing of all the contacts. Did you get that, Kathy? There's 3 pages. Okay, I'll resend that out to you. But we do have to work on getting a big draw, and I have the name of Tony Rosker. He is an Elvis impersonator, and he was at the community church in Pewaukee, the Agape Community Church Festival. And he was very good. Just something, another thing throw out if we wanted to do something
Would you think of this besides the band or in addition to the band?
besides the band, because he was there for 3 hours.
What
But
does he charge?
that I didn't get into. I just got his card. And you know, because we gotta have a draw. We're not gonna have the crafters. I had a heck of a time getting crafters last year. I'm not doing that again. You can have that.
Oh, okay.
But you know, if we don't have the crafters, we have all the kids' stuff. the rock wall was the best thing. Got the band. We don't have anybody running the car show. So we have to get a draw. Otherwise, there's no reason for people to come.
So I'm kind of thinking about that. I think we kind of talked a little briefly about it last time, was like really trying to think of like kid events, because it's really like the family event. We want to try to get other stuff for kids down there. I know JK Lee, we talked about having them do like some kind of a demonstration maybe, or do like, they do tests for belts. Pull that down, the dance school, that's opening in Lisbon, maybe have them come and do a show. Things along that line. Brad, is there anything with the scouts that maybe we could get the scouts to do something that would bring the kid draw in?
I can ask when I email about dates for next
What
year.
about a
Okay.
zoo?
Petting zoo?
So we had a petting zoo where I worked this past weekend. That same place would probably cost us about $1,000 to get for the one day, the amount of time we need. But I mean, we had multiple staff looking at, I would just try, because so many people come and want to do it right away. You're limited to the number of people you can put in a pen at a time and, can handle the animals at once. I would think we would need a guarantee of having more help than what we have. Because it would probably take 3 of us to do like a line control of some sort.
Okay.
So that's half of
But
it.
that was a good draw.
It was a good draw. We would have to book it, I would think very soon though. Cause I would imagine they're already booking some of their regular things into next summer already.
Sussex had that for their Fright Fest or their Halloween. Sussex, they had one there too. didn't they?
That guy's out of Japanese.
I'm not sure where this one was from, but I know mileage wise, we would have to pay, but that'd be the same for anyone that we got.
Could you check into that, Kelly, get the details for us?
Mhm.
Okay, great.
You might want to have somebody check into the taekwondo,
Yeah, I'll call JK
okay,
later.
and I'll
Yeah,
take care of the beer.
that's great. That's the big one.
The big one is the beer. I'll
On the
take care of the beer.
inflatables, they have instead of just the ones that we have, they do have some bigger ones, that are more like an obstacle course type thing.
Yeah, I've seen
Which that would
those.
be more for maybe a little bit older kids.
I wonder, because then we'd have to kind of change the layout a little bit, but we'd have all the room where the car show would be if that's not going to be there, so we can
And the,
move that around.
and the,
Oh, and the power.
and the graphic.
How can you put that on? I guess you could. You could put it in the parking lot. Who handled the inflatables last year?
And contact.
Yeah, do you mind like maybe just seeing what they have available and seeing what we can do? Okay.
Yeah. That was a big
Yeah,
draw.
people love that, yeah.
But then what about our budget? I don't know if we can do all those things.
Mhm.
Well, we'll pull it together and see what we can,
I mean,
what makes the most sense.
How much was the, carriage ride? First round carriage?
it was like 1,050 or something. She's 250 an hour, or there are 275 an hour, and she was there 4 hours. We did it for 4. But she's pricey. I mean, it's pricey, so I guess I mean, I like the inflatable.
What-
I think maybe something, maybe we don't do.
$1,060
So,
for the hoof beats.
We had also discussed a possible need for extra face painting and stuff like that.
Yeah, that,
So whatever that
into
budget
that.
is.
yeah, the face painting and the balloon, their lines were huge for that and
Yeah.
they left before all the kids
yeah,
got what they were doing.
at 3 and.
There's a face painter that we had this last year, she's moving to somewhere.
Susie Sparkles,
Yeah, she's moving, so
Yeah.
she said, I think she's leaving in fall.
she was awful expensive too.
Who is the dentist that was actually?
She's got the name of that.
Yeah,
And he.
Mhm.
and
he was
wants
great.
To come again.
Yep.
So.
Let's see,
he's
there
one
was
of
a
those-
kid too, my daughter went to, must have been Pewaukee Days or whatever they got, Pewaukee Street Dance or something. And there was a kid there, and I guess he was really good, and he had his own little setup, and he was making balloons for all the kids just for tips. And I guess he was really good, so she gave me his card, so I have his
Oh.
card.
we'll give him a free hamburger and soda.
His dad was there with them, and he's like, I think my daughter was asking, was like, oh, does your son help you? And he's like, nope, this is all his, this is, you want to try this is his thing, he's like, I'm helping him.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
We used to have Sarah And it's on your list, Paula.
Okay.
So,
She was a face painter. But we have to contact somebody with
so,
contact.
So I'm gonna put
we
you
have
down.
to set the date first.
Okay.
So then, because they're
Yeah.
gonna go out and talk to these
So-
companies.
I have it written down as June 15th tentative right now, but there's some things we need to check with that, right? I tried to look at the Monchez Chicken Fest for California. It's not,
Saturday. So then it changed to Saturday,
okay,
so
so
that is.
Yeah.
it's Arrowhead.
Well, that's probably like a,
This is on the first.
Oh, so maybe the 8th would work.
Yeah, something.
And people eat chicken.
Yeah. A lot of people accept it on it.
I mean, it's nice that
That was
June
my-
has 5 Saturdays to pick from. We don't always have 5 Saturdays. in June.
Yeah,
So maybe we do have to pump it one way or the
Hamilton
other.
graduation.
Okay. So.
So the eighth might work. Wasn't the eighth Saturday?
the 8th is a Saturday, so their graduation's on a Sunday?
It was probably the eighth. So. Leave Europe. It's a leap year.
So the only thing then that would push us to the 22nd.
Right.
And I don't think we want to go any later than that, because then you're running to 4th of July and everything else.
Well, if we want to stay with the 15th and try to get larger, so more people start coming to us that aren't gonna go to Monchez.
Yeah. I don't know, what do you guys think? Well,
I'd leave it
Tracy?
on the 15th. It's the third Saturday that we've had. And
okay, 15th, what do you think, Jeanette?
Is the event in Monches, is that geared more for families or adults? Is that,
They do like softball tournaments.
so there's not a lot of kid stuff, like ours is more geared for families and kids and stuff, and
They may have like smaller stuff for kids, but
so it's a different draw. I'm saying
You
like
said it
ours.
started at 2, right?
that was last year, it started at 2:30. Then it goes basically till 11, yeah.
So I mean, ours is early enough, I think.
Maybe we want to change the name a little bit. To say
Oh,
that
instead of
it's a
Summerfest?
free kids, that it's community
family festival.
best kids or
Mhm.
free or something,
Right.
those two things. in
Right,
it.
especially if we're not gonna have the car show, if we're not gonna
Yeah.
have crafters, it's gonna be
all
a,
kids.
a draw for kids.
Well, then do we reconsider doing like an adult band and do a more kid type band?
Hmm.
I don't know, like, I don't know. I mean, the Wiggles just pop into my head, but I'm like, no, not that.
So there's, not a band, he's like a science show where he'll do stuff with kids.
Oh,
And
like,
he does like a lot of like libraries, that state
Oh.
fair, comic fairs, stuff like that.
yeah, I
Based.
don't know, thoughts, magic show could be cool.
Yeah.
There's a couple of like snake kind of people around too. In our school.
Not for
where
me.
They put on like an hour, you learn about them and he takes them out and then the kids can hold them.
Don't think.
The dunk tank?
Yeah,
Your village board.
president.
Well, that'd be a long line.
We talked about that. We talked internally about, even the fire department versus the public works staff. Tug of war or things like that to try to get our employees out there doing stuff that people. But
I think they do that in Merton, don't they? They have that barrel hung up and they.
Hmm.
yeah,
They do that in St. Lawrence too. I think it's the policemen.
that
versus
walking.
firemen. They take turns holding the hose or something and trying to get a barrel or something across the road.
mhm.
Rubber duck races seem to be really big, but I don't know where we would do that. You buy the little ducky and you
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
races. I don't know where we do that. I like the magic show idea. I think that's
Yeah.
good. So we decided on the 15th. We're gonna stick with 15th. Everybody good with that?
That's right. What
Yeah.
time?
11 to 4.
11 to 4.
Okay, 15th it is. All right, so the ideas that we have listed so far are a petting zoo, the taekwondo, the dance troupe too. We'll just put that down. I'll call them. The inflatables, and Tracy, you were gonna give them a quick ring. Hoof Beats is still on the list. We know what they cost. The face painting, Tracy, you also had that kid from was that the face painting kid or he was the balloon kid? Balloon, okay.
Jeanette, did you take care of the horse-drawn carriage? Bookings?
You did?
You contact her and see if she's available.
Yeah, sure. I'll tell her to bring younger horses. this year. But what happened was, she tells you this right off the top. She also does funerals in Milwaukee. And she said to me, even early on, she said, if I have a funeral on that Saturday, I will be there in the morning and none of my assistants will come. And that's just what happened. So she sent an assistant with these very old horses that were very slow. So, yeah, we're like, the first ride took 30 minutes, people were waiting and waiting, so if I talk to her, I'm gonna say, hey, look, you need to bring some faster moving horses that are not ready for the glue factory, and that's what, are they gonna make it, because it was hot, it was not humid, it was awful. Was those
Where's
horses,
that lady from Oconomowoc?
Napleton,
Yeah, because there's a lady over there that does sleigh rides in the winter time too. That's her.
Sure, it's the
That's
same
right.
lady.
yeah, that's her, so, should we do, 4 hours kept her busy. And again, but then that's $1,000 of our budget, and our budget is 4680 now.
Well,
So,
But we can make the budget.
okay.
We're just gonna put down the budget and see if we can get our budget that we need.
And we'll see what everything else costs and then we'll decide on what we
I'll
think is gonna
contact
do
her,
it,
sure.
yeah.
So 4 hours, and again, she's at a minimum, that's whatever she charged us this year, I'm sure it'll be that, and maybe she'll up the price again, I don't know. For a while, she was less, she bumped it, too.
Do we want to get a price from the balloon people? I mean, the face painters and the balloon guys from 11 to say 3?
No, I think they're there the entire time.
No, they
It
don't.
was too hard to cut them off at the end, because everybody kept coming, when there was a
Yeah.
line, they came back, and then we had to cut it off because they had to leave. Well,
Yeah.
Because they left at
They,
3.
they should
But we
leave at
They need to
later.
be there at 4.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
need to be there the whole time.
So you gotta get a
Yeah.
adjusted
Hold.
price for how long,
Yeah.
for the additional hour.
Do we need a second face picture? I mean,
Yeah,
I would,
how long are
That's a
kids?
good idea.
So then double, I mean, you're looking at doubling that budget probably.
yeah.
yeah. So do we know another face painter if Susie is not available anymore? Do we have somebody?
There's Sarah's on that list. too.
Okay. Okay.
I know she's in college. I can call Sarah.
Okay,
If we have 2, there won't be such a long line. If we have 2 people doing balloons, maybe there won't be such lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what the face painter did was great. I mean, they were, but I could see why they take so long because they were really good. Okay, so Tracy, you're gonna call the kid about the balloon thing and we'll get in touch with the dentist. We've got that information.
Mhm.
And then a magic show. Does anybody know any magicians? We can maybe look into that.
Just
No.
have to Google.
Yeah, all right.
Google
I'll
some
put that down on
magic
my list. I'll look up magic shows. Anybody have any other thoughts on that?
How long would you want the magic show? Well, that's a long time for a person that come with that many mad.
Yeah, I mean, we have to see what his standard
But he
show
could-
would be.
But he could do, if we did a stage of some sort that would have the dance people, JK. And the magician, I mean, they'd be rolling through there, it wouldn't be the same person standing up there for 4 hours.
Right.
Instead of a band.
Well, maybe.
Yeah,
'Cause if
we'll
we're gonna really cater to the kids and not have the car show. Then maybe
Well, there's still, that's something to think about. If
Yep.
you
well, we get the
just
Elvis
wanna have the
impersonator we'll talk
stage,
to.
Yeah,
They're still adults.
yeah, there's adults who like, and the band we had this year was
Yeah, they were-
really good.
they were
Everybody
good.
enjoyed it.
The Fender, and they were reasonable. on
Yeah.
that.
Very reasonable.
So weren't they, 700, 800, I mean, they were
750.
some.
on National Night Out, they had a couple years back, they had the big, swimming pools, the kiddie swimming pools, and they filled them with bubbles. And then they had wands, and the kids just picked up wands and stuck them in, and they just played with bubbles. Kids play
Oh,
with
that's a
bubbles
great
like
idea.
forever. It's just, and that's all it is a swimming pool with the wands, and some of those wands are like this big, made these really big bubbles.
We need another pool for them to wash up in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Throw them in the river.
Well, they don't go in the pool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kelly.
I know one of the, and this is kind of off subject a teeny bit, but, did we think that we had too many porta potties last year?
Thought we were gonna cut down one or.
Yeah.
Cut down one.
And there weren't
Because
there
the
weren't lines.
porta potties were $985. Our total expenses with the band, the inflatables, the joke shop, the balloons, I mean, the rock wall, you gotta have that. Hoof beats, Susie Sparkles was 4,607. 4,500.
So if we make it a $10,000 budget.
We could probably do just about everything on that list with that.
Yeah,
Get
Or-
two rock walls. or
Yeah.
whatever we could afford.
And
Yeah.
When you guys used to do heritage days, did you guys have Flood for Life going a couple of years?
yeah.
That might be something, now that we're not having the car show down in that area, I believe that's where they landed down there.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a big draw. I know they're always, they have the birds, they can't come, but. Remember at Heritage Day, they were kind of being there.
Yeah, that was really cool to
Wonder
see.
if our fire department has firehouse. At my old place, they had a firehouse that they set up and they had the kids run through. And
Oh, like it was a
Drills.
smoke thing, yeah.
Stop, drop, roll thing.
Oh.
yeah. That was kind of a fun thing for the kids.
No bill.
Was our food people good? Was everybody happy with the food that we had? Do
The
they wanna do it
Optimist
again?
Club, yeah.
Yeah, they were excellent.
Do they wanna do it again? Did
Do
they
you want me
say?
to contact the food Optimist Club?
Yes, please, if you
Okay.
could, that'd be great, Marlene, thank you.
And tell them to have more than 96 hot dogs, but kids wanted more hot dogs. I asked the lady after, I said, how many did you have? She said, we didn't know what to do, so we had 96, but if you do this again, we'll bring more, so.
Okay.
Maybe just remind, because those were like $1 or something, weren't they? I mean, the food prices were reasonable.
It was
You
reasonable.
know, for families, and that's what we wanted it to be.
Does anybody have a connection with the Flight for Life folks?
I'm sure our fire department.
Oh, so we'll get a hold of Michelle. Okay, all right, so we'll just pull all this together and then next time we'll talk about it again and see what's what and start to build it from there. Okay, cool. All right, so that takes care of that. So discussion and necessary action, on the 2024 recreation budget.
Okay.
So where we're
So
going.
you've got in your packet the budget. We didn't put anything in for Adopt a Highway we have budgeted for this year, $350, but they didn't want to make a decision without you, Brad.
Oh.
See if you needed anything.
No, nothing. Mike, all the signs, what I could see, have been updated, so there's
Yeah, I
nothing.
mean, like I was talking, normally if we don't have any new adoptions, we have to pay for the signs, we would just go through and pick like 2 or 3 roads that have faded signs and update them.
So put the $350 in.
Yeah.
Cause then you still need, I mean, your supplies, your bags, your vests, you might need more, or I don't know what you have right now for supplies on that end, but
Basically, I have vests, garbage bags, little picker.
Yep.
Things to throw in there. And then, I mean, like the signs. They're good for quite a lot, so,
gotcha.
As far as that, they're basically the biggest one is the wall, road walls, and bigs are the constantly.
Mhm.
Replaced.
Sure.
So do we spend any money on Winterfest?
Winterfest. The last time it was combined with the Easter figure, about $350. Don't ask me why Mike had, I think that was,
Combined it with Easter?
yeah, you've combined everything with Easter together. So I only had $350 combined with Easter.
I've
For
got kind of on a
2021.
proposed budget for the Easter 500 from last.
That's
discussion.
2022, yeah. But the Winterfest, I do not have anything for
Any cost on it.
2022.
What do we need, s'mores stuff for that?
What do we figure about
S'mores.
for? It's s'mores. I got the dye for the water. The kids were playing with the dye in the water.
Mhm.
in the squirt bottles.
Basically s'mores, hot dog, buns, and then like condiments.
Hot
And then we
chocolate,
had,
hot chocolate, coffee.
hot chocolate and iced tea.
You had coffee.
Shouldn't be more than $300.
All right. And then Community Fest,
Well, it was what, 45 last year? We're talking about making it bigger, so I don't know. Maybe double it for now. and
10 grand.
Put that in there.
Put
and
10
just-
grand in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shoot for the moon. We can always knock it down a little bit if we have
Okay.
to. The fireworks.
stays the same.
Okay.
And it wasn't worth doing the WPRA ticket program. We did have a couple people come in, but it just wasn't worth our time.
The last time we did it, I just looked at the notes, I think we made as a village like $27.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So we only keep like 75 cents per ticket we sell. And most of, like, last year we did it, we just had to do one. Where most of the people that I received calls from this year were looking for like Noah's Ark. Stuff like that, 'cause I feel a lot of people around here have like two pads.
yeah.
You know, or, you know, big ones.
I got a question about the fireworks. So what, has the village done a fireworks show previously, or is this a new event?
No, we do it with Sussex.
Oh, you combine with
Last couple
Sussex, so
years, yeah.
gotcha.
Last couple of years.
Okay.
4th of July,
And we just give them money towards it and we,
we're just,
Okay.
it's Sussex, Lisbon fireworks.
gotcha.
And my daughter and I went to the fireworks show. It was very long.
And usually what, on the third, fourth? Is that what, do you know when they usually run it?
It was the third, actually.
Usually on the third, the
Yeah.
day before?
So if I added up correctly, that gives us a total budget of 23,650.
Okay.
If I added correctly.
300 for Winterfest, 500 for Easter, no, 300 for Easter.
I have another item
Yeah.
here for a budget item is the soil borings. Perk test for
Oh.
the community park.
Hmm.
And if we just do the soil borings, it's gonna be about $2,000, and if we do the soil boring and the perk test, would be about $5,000. Do we want to have the soil borings done? Or
Well, if
can
you
we
wanna-
just bring it to the board can say no to whatever.
What do you think, Mike? If you want to put in a septic, and if you want to
That's
plan,
someday we're gonna do something there, so.
you might as well find out now if you can or not.
You know,
Where
if we do
the
it.
best ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so we'll bring that to them as a possibility. Right, I just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page on it.
Yeah, because if you can't put in a septic, why plan out?
So you can, wait, yeah, that would make the determination if you're gonna have a big enclosed building there, or if you're gonna have just a small.
Yeah,
toilet
pavilion
area.
type thing, yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks for getting that, Kathy. So do we need to approve that number then, Kathy? Or we'll just,
No, I'll just put it in the budget.
Okay.
I'll put it in the budget when I get something to the village board.
okay,
Would that location be where the current?
The
Building
location-
is,
I think
where
we're
the
gonna-
big toilets are, we would,
I think we would have them check multiple sites.
okay.
guess we done there?
We gotta move on, we got 5 minutes.
Yep, discussion and necessary action on 2024 park pavilion fees.
Okay, so in the packet, we had some and we might just be able to touch on it right now. But we had some costs for the field usage, and then we were talking last year, I remember the conversation about our this is just specifically for the field. So we have to check to see how much, and maybe Mike can do that for the next meeting, go through and see what the cost actually is for their time and to drag and do all this, because we have to pay our staff to come in and do that in between.
Yep.
Games and such, and so, but the other thing was the pavilions. This is really not, oh, the pavilions is the last page. And so, we were talking about, I remember you guys talking about the fact that you might want to do something with the number of people. So if they were going to, instead of, $75 and somebody brings in 300 people. That type of thing, this discussion happened when we were, when we had, the one event that rented all of our shelters in Community Park and then just had a very large party there, which was fine. It's just that we didn't have any way of, increasing the fees, because these were the only fees we had, because we were, really, our fees are real specific to the shelters, and so I don't know what other shelters go for around us, $75 and $50. For a shelter isn't a bad price.
Yeah, I would be interested to see what the comps would be like in, Menominee Falls and Heartland and Merton and such, to see
Yeah.
what our competition is, for lack of a better.
I think Mike could maybe, can you put that on your list of
Yeah.
things to do?
For the shelter fees, and then also for the field fees too.
That I did reach out to, because, last year at the, ironically enough, the WPRA conference, I was talking to Haley from Sussex, and because I was getting a lot of phone calls for baseball.
Mhm.
I was like, we really, February.
Mhm.
Well, talking to her, they upped their prices again last year. So she emailed me their breakdown of every year, they've been raising and increasing their prices.
Mhm.
So like last year, they were at $50 a game, where we're at 30, I believe. So you add that up over, probably 60 games.
Oh, yeah,
That's big money.
yeah.
So.
So we'll know how to price it to make sure our fields stay full
Yeah, so
then.
basically the numbers here are what they are doing there. 2024.
Okay. All right.
So let's say, when we get to that point, we will, this is something we would bring to the board, so we would have action. Yes.
Okay.
Just a thought, could we were talking about when you were saying not renting a whole park, because you can't close a park. But if somebody
We didn't rent the
no.
park, we rented all the shelters.
right, but if somebody wanted to quote unquote have a big party there, can we just handle that under a totally different format? You can have your party, you can use all the shelters but it still has to be kept open for the
We
public.
could do mass gatherings.
Yeah,
Is what they,
that's the word.
that's what a lot of communities do,
Yeah.
is a mass gathering, so we could look into that.
It sounds dangerous somehow.
No, and instead of saying you can have this shelter and this shelter and this shelter, if they want to rent the whole park, quote unquote, they can rent it. It has to stay open to the public, but then you would have a
Like a
mass
fee,
shelter
a fee for, like $500 or whatever
Yeah,
for the
for the-
whole shaboodle.
instead of nitpicking each one.
Okay.
All right, and last but not least, discussion and necessary action on the 5-year park plan. Not sure what that is, maybe. I say that we're almost at 6 right now, and I'd like to really read through this cover to cover.
Can we-
And really kind of get an idea.
Put it off for next month.
And I think it's a good thing to have, but until we get some of that soil and perk testing done, I don't know what we're gonna be able to decisions we're gonna be able to make without knowing what can go where.
Mhm.
I mean, does anybody have any other thoughts on that?
Why don't we just put this off?
Yeah.
Put
Did
it
you add
off for
anything
next
on
month.
that?
No, I think perusing it at home and going through it, thoroughly would be good. Bring it back another time.
Brad, anything?
No, I agree that let's table it for next
Okay.
meeting.
Tracy? Colleen, any thoughts on that? No, okay. So we'll call that one done. Does anybody have any thoughts for future agenda items?
So since our discussion, I put on for the next agenda, the Community Fest to you're gathering all the information for Community Fest, and we'll visit that again. Then bring back something for mass gathering, field costs, fees, and pavilion rent fees.
Okay.
That's what I've got for next week.
One question for the rental fees, do you want me to look in specific rental fees for each shelter, or can we look more for a mass? Large group?
I mean,
Both. Yeah,
let's make it overly complicated, but both, yeah.
it's just,
And Kathy, will you be bringing that $2,000 to $5,000 cost for the septic testing to the board tonight? If you're gonna be at the next, because that's be the next
It'll be
meeting.
during budget.
Oh, during budget. So when would we have an answer, yea or nay, do you suppose? On that?
October,
Okay, October.
because we have to have it to the paper by October 20th, so
Okay.
we'll know if it's in, what's in and what's out.
You
And then
can-
you'll know
yeah.
if, what kind of money we have for our festivals and things as well at that time. We're just putting in our wish list right now, and then I'm probably gonna go out and see if I can get somebody to donate money for the festivals, so. Yeah. That's a big increase for us tonight.
mhm. Yeah, we went from 0 to 10 grand on the
2,000.
festival.
2,000 is what they put in before, and so now we've brought it up 8 grand, so. Or 23 with everything. So,
Okay, can I just do a shout out to Mike? Mike, thank you. A new sign, the signage at Oakwood
Yes.
and Lake Bonnet, beautiful. It came together really nicely. Yeah, and thank you for what you're doing for squelching those weeds. In the East Garden, and just, John Brighton's garden is coming along, the planting, went in, that was went in last week. I mean, it's really coming together, and I know those are a lot of extra things. And, get the basketball court come to fruition, so thanks for
Yeah.
coordinating all that, Mike, in addition to what your normal stuff is, so, appreciate that, I think it all looks great, I look forward to Saturday.
Yeah, fun.
Very good. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to the second. We were just making this change because I'm on vacation. The board changed it because I'm on vacation. So,
Yeah.
we thought we'd have them back to back, so like we normally do.
Okay, does somebody want to?
I make a motion that we adjourn at 6:03.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. We're out.